Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're walking straight into a high-stakes plant ER situation. Look, if you've spent any time caring for indoor greenery, you know that keeping your plants thriving is usually a super peaceful, rewarding hobby. But occasionally, there's a condition that pops up requiring immediate, decisive action. We're talking about the silent killer of the houseplant world, root rot. We're going to give you a direct, step-by-step guide on exactly how to spot it, how to stop it, and how to save your plant before it's literally too late. So don't panic, you're in the right place, and we're going to get through this together.
To kick things off, let's look at the ultimate irony of root rot. It's this incredibly deceptive symptom that confuses, well, basically so many dedicated plant owners. Picture this. You walk up to your favorite pothos or monstera, and the leaves are just dramatically wilting, drooping, maybe even turning yellow. Every instinct you have is screaming, this plant is thirsty. But then you touch the soil, and it is absolutely soaking wet. It makes zero sense, right? How on earth can a drowning plant look like it's dying of a drought? Well, as we'll see, the answer lies hidden beneath the soil line, and fixing it requires a complete shift in how we approach plant triage.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our plant ER triage plan. 1. Diagnosing the silent killer. 2. Drowning below the surface. 3. Inspecting the damage. 4. The emergency operation. And 5. Preventing future rot.
Starting right off with step 1, diagnosing the silent killer and reading the deception.
The truly tricky thing about root rot is that the visible problem is happening above ground, but the actual disaster is unfolding below. You really can't just rely on a single symptom. So think of this quick diagnostic chart as your best friend right now. Let's walk through it. If you're seeing wilting or drooping leaves and the soil is completely soggy or constantly wet, yeah, it's highly likely you have root rot. If you're noticing yellowing, soft dropping lower leaves combined with wet soil and maybe a really foul smell, that is almost certainly root rot. What about stunted growth, where it hasn't pushed out a new leaf in months and the soil simply never dries out? Root rot. But here is the absolute major one to look out for. If you see black, mushy spots on the stem right at the soil line and the soil is wet and compacted, you are dealing with advanced root rot. That is an absolute emergency requiring immediate intervention.
That brings us to part 2, drowning below the surface, and what is actually happening down there.
Before we operate, we really need to understand the pathology of what's going on. And I want to pause you for a second to remind you, if your plant has this, it is not a personal failure on your part. It's simply an environmental issue that can be corrected. Root rot is exactly what it sounds like, the decay and death of a plant's roots. But the catalyst? It's a severe lack of oxygen in the soil. You see, healthy roots actually need to breathe. They pull oxygen from these tiny little air pockets distributed all throughout the potting mix. When soil is constantly waterlogged, those crucial air pockets are destroyed. The roots literally suffocate. Once they die, naturally occurring fungi and bacteria just swoop right in and rapidly accelerate the decay. And this circles perfectly back to our irony from earlier. Rotting roots lose their physical ability to absorb water, which is exactly why the leaves up top look so desperately thirsty.
A plant doesn't simply catch root rot from the air like a common cold. It's an environmental trap directly caused by 3 main culprits. First up, overwatering. Now, this doesn't actually mean giving a plant too much water at once. It means watering way too frequently before the soil has even had a chance to dry out. Second, poor drainage. This happens when potting your plant in a gorgeous ceramic container that has absolutely 0 drainage holes, or leaving a saucer full of water sitting there for days. And third, heavy, dense soil. If you're using something like outdoor garden soil indoors, it compacts really tightly, trapping all that moisture and suffocating the root system. Moving on to part 3, inspecting the damage and going under the soil. We've read the symptoms, and now it's time to put on your gloves and actually examine the patient. You cannot be 100% sure of root rot until you gently slide your plant right out of its pot and actually see the roots. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark, undeniable physical difference between these two states. Healthy roots are going to be firm to the touch, plump, and generally white or light tan. Rotted roots, on the other hand, are pretty alarming. They're going to be dark brown or jet black. They feel incredibly mushy and slimy, and honestly, if you gently pull on them, the outer sheath of the root will literally fall apart or slip right off in your fingers. Alongside that visual inspection, you absolutely must perform the smell test. Healthy houseplant soil smells great. It's earthy, fresh, and organic. But if you hold that root ball up and it smells sour, musty, or swampy, like maybe rotting vegetables left in the back of the fridge for way too long,
That is a massive, flashing red flag confirming the decay.
All right, part 4, the emergency operation. How to fix it fast.
The diagnosis is confirmed and time is absolutely of the essence here. It is time to initiate the emergency repotting operation. Let's move through and see how this builds. Step 1, unpot and clean. You're going to take the plant straight to a sink and run lukewarm water over the root ball. You want to gently wash away all the old, infected, sludgy soil so you can clearly see exactly what you're working with. Step 2 is pruning. Step 3 is treatment. Step 4 is repotting into fresh soil. And finally, step 5 is the delicate post-op care phase.
I really want to pause heavily on step 2 because it is absolutely the most critical part of this entire operation. Simply put, you must be ruthless. Take a pair of shirt pruning shears or scissors and make sure you sterilize them with some rubbing alcohol first and cut away every single dark, mushy, or slimy root. Do not hesitate. Do not try to play the hero and save a root that is only a little mushy. If you leave even a tiny bit of rotted material behind, the bacteria is simply going to spread right back into the healthy tissue. Snip it all away until you only have firm, healthy roots left. Once you've done your pruning, here is an excellent optional triage step. You can dip the remaining healthy roots into a solution of 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts water. It bubbles up and actually helps kill off any lingering bacteria or fungal spores. After that, repot the plant into a completely clean pot using entirely fresh, well-draining soil. Do not, under any circumstances, reuse the old soil. And for your post-op care, just give it a very light watering, do not drench it, keep it in bright, indirect light, and absolutely do not fertilize it for at least a month. The plant is in shock, you just need to let it rest.
Finally, we reach part 5, preventing future rot and the best practices for healthy roots.
If you followed the steps, your plant is now resting quietly in recovery. But to keep it out of the ER in the future, we need to focus on some strict lifestyle changes. Prevention is so much easier than a cure, so the crucial point is to basically memorize this non-negotiable checklist. Number 1, always use pots with drainage holes. Seriously, if you have a beautiful decorative pot with no holes, just put your plant in a cheap plastic nursery pot and drop that inside. Number 2, water based on need, not a schedule. Stick your finger 2 inches into the soil. If it's moist, just wait. Number 3, use well-aerated soil. Mix in perlite or orchid bark so those roots can breathe. Number 4, empty the saucer. Let the plant drain for about 15 minutes after watering, then dump whatever excess water is left. And finally, when you repot, only size up by 1 to 2 inches at a time. A giant pot holds way too much moisture, creating a perfect storm for rot.
So, we come to the final question. Can a plant truly recover from root rot? Yes, it absolutely can, but only if you catch it early. Recognize those deceptive symptoms and take immediate, ruthless action with your sterilized shears. You are now fully equipped with the knowledge, the diagnostic tools, and the surgical steps to save your plants from suffocating below the surface. The only question left is, are you ready to operate, or will you let the silent killer win? Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and hey, good luck in the plant ER!